Hello and welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are going through the final part of our Star Trek Adventures holiday one shot, or vacation one shot, Captain's Holiday. And we are glad to have you join us. Once again, we will give a quick shout out to our last player group here. We have Panda, our usual Captain Colonel Lillian Sharp in the Aegis game, uh, playing Celeste, the Extreme Sports Coordinator. We have Craig, our usual security officer, Eula Shira, this week still playing the Tellarite chef, Ramsay, and Brian, our usual engineer, Aleska Romanov, rather, playing the finest available concierge on the in the Pleasure Cruiser fleet, Ms. Julie Sunshine. And
He
yeah,
did win customer service award 4 years in a row.
yes, you you earned so much acclaim in the last two sessions, and you spent them all on awards. Spectacular. Anyway, and of course, we have our special guest Starfleet personnel playing the role of DMOC. I believe, I think that we are on number 6 right now.
For now.
Yes, for now. We will see how that changes here. I had better go ahead and just make that slight. I'm just going to make the small change here. And yeah, so we are just going to go right into it and let see how this finishes out. So, when last we left off, the crew had made their way down to the Hollow Suites, where uh, power was being tied up very extensively for the secondary systems. The captain of the ship, stuck up in the bridge's closet, had no choice but to ask you to try to reroute power from that area so that he could squeeze something into the engines and hopefully break away from whatever anomaly they were caught in. Um, you had made your way there and discovered that it was the worst case scenario in many senses. All but one of the holosuites were blocked off, and the remaining holosuite was held by a Starfleet captain who, after difficult encounters with a supercomputer, nay, near god tier computer, had lost touch with reality, particularly after a secondary unrelated bad holodeck experience, and considered the holodeck as the highest sort of realm of existence of a fashion. And so they had taken over a series of very cheesy old Earth style radio programs adapted into holodramas, and were attempting to quote unquote destroy the biological prison realm in favor of this higher realm. Something that, had it gone to fruition, would have probably at least destroyed the holodeck and all of you with it. However, while some of you were able to create some distractions, ultimately it was Celeste who was able to uh, break through and break out of her own shell a little bit in order to help bring Captain Connix out of her stupor and allow her to regain some sense of herself. And with that, Democ was able to shift power from the holosuites, able to shut them down on the process, and allow you what you needed to escape. The captain reported as such, but then something cut him off on the other end, and so you are all heading up to the bridge in order to find out what happened. Unfortunately, as you made your move, you wound up going through one of the corridors and or like into the sort of extreme sports area or near some of the arenas, and the uh, there's been signs of struggle on the way there. You've learned from some of the staff that a Vulcan captain by the name of Steg, who is a reputed war hero, but is somebody who has very much gotten a little too deep into combat, is now trying to make his own way to the bridge. And uh, this posed a problem, you'd realize, because he was only likely to mess things up more. He's known from his record as being extremely aggressive and might possibly damage the situation even further. You threw up impediments in order to stop him from advancing, but once he determined where they were coming from, he is now making his way back towards you. So at present, you are left to prepare with a few actions for each of you, be they to brace for possible combat, or in the case of your Tellarite chef, to whip up a dish that might give you some sort of edge over whatever is to happen in the encounter. So let us pick up from there. Uh, you have set up shop in something of an alcove along one of the corridors. Ramsay, your one of your sous chefs has rolled up a one of the mobile carts, sometimes used for dinners, basically tableside cooking.
Hmm.
A an occasional treat for some guests who want a sort of visual preparation of such brilliant work as yours. The it does have some limitations in terms of what it can do, but it is a very versatile table of sorts. So it will give you the advantage that basically that for whatever dish you are trying to do, it will grant you the facilities that you need uh, within a certain degree of reason.
Hmm. Yes. I believe we were looking at making a very spicy, flavorful, some kind of soup or something.
Yes,
Chili, maybe.
yes. A chili, curry, something of the sort. Maybe would it be something that you could, from at least the look of it, disguise as a what would seem like a plomic broth, but the that one that would assault the senses as it were it was brought up to his nose, or even more
Yeah.
insidiously brought up to his taste buds.
Yes.
Spectacular. Well, I want you to go ahead and get a start with some of that, as you are cutting ingredients and calibrating everything very precisely for the cook that you're about to start. Um,
I'm gonna do preparations for all the frilly customer servicey stuff around the meal, so I make the presentation look right, like it is, because it's supposed to be a Vulcan dish, right?
well, it would depend on Ramsay's intent here.
I guess I'm gonna have to ask him, what is your intent? Because I need to set up the presentation.
Yeah, make it look like a nice, simple Vulcan dish.
Okay, then I'm gonna set that up using all of my customer service experience.
Hmm. Well,
Should I brace for if it gets violent, or
Yeah.
Why? What are you going to do if it gets violent?
try to out violence them?
Can you
Hit them
out-violence someone?
hit them really hard.
You plan to attack a Vulcan war hero.
As my mother would say, compared to a mere Klingon, it's no contest. She says with a grin.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
um, while we're in the midst of this, Ramsay, I'm going to ask you for a control and science roll, please. And I'm going to set the difficulty at this. We'll start with I think we'll start with two because while this is simple work, this is very exacting work, and you probably feel at least the slight pressure of time.
Okay, dokie. Da-da-da. Right. In that case,
If there's any cooking related focuses, I will permit it to apply. But at this point,
Yes, I got Xeno cuisine and cooking techniques. So I think
spectacular.
Xeno cuisine would be quite useful here in trying to disguise the very spicy dish to look like a nice plain Vulcan dish.
Hmm.
And I'll spend a point of momentum for an extra dice.
Okay.
There.
4 successes, so that will earn you back 2 momentum there. Let me deal that out to you. Or rather, I'll deal out the 1 since Panda hasn't dropped the others yet. Just 1 moment there. All right. So, yeah, you immediately set to work staging all of your ingredients and chopping them up in such a fine manner as to be able to make their way quickly into a pot that you can cook down. The combination of peppers, chilies, any other sort of spicy components are either cut or set aside in small food preparation dishes. Um, the broth, meanwhile, you set about, I would imagine, a vegetable base for this, given Vulcan's general dietary habits. Uh, Crucially, you do find a useful component to sort of, we'll call it a sort of spray or foam that can be deployed very lightly to slightly inhibit the smell of something before it reaches one's palate, and something that should allow you a bit of surprise in terms of the spice that this person deals with. So that should definitely be of some help. Um, whilst we're looking around here, Dimok, have you stopped your running from the Vulcan, realizing that you still need to get to the bridge at some point, or have you thrown all just caution or abandon here?
Running to the next sector. I'll probably just retreated to where everyone else is because
Gotcha.
I was at some console or side panel somewhere.
Yep. You are hiding behind Ramsay, possibly hovering behind, getting the occasional whiff of something very pungent that uh, particularly when mixed in with the gentle chlorine mist that gets sprayed from your chest implant.
I can help, sir.
I can disinfect that.
Okay, so Celeste, as you are readying for the possibility of violence, let me ask you, what, if any, is there any equipment that you would want for this situation here?
I would have 2 stun melee weapons. Any armor I could have, that is maneuverable, that is well protected, but still offers me complete movement.
Okay, so you
Um,
want to dual wield, and
yep.
all right. Well, so let's see. I think that I will allow you to spend the momentum in order to buy the requisite gear, and I will give.
Actually, I'm gonna go classic. I'll get a bat lift. Still the armor, but bat lift.
Okay, so blunted batleth then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what this will mean then? First, that'll be 2 momentum unless you are tapping a certain special talent.
There you go.
Oh,
There's 2.
not using the keeper of gear.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. I'll use the keeper gear.
Okay, go ahead and pick up that other momentum if you can. Um, and while you're doing that, would you care to give us a read? Remind everybody what the talent does, basically.
Yeah. As the extreme sports coordinator, you have access to various pieces of equipment, and Implements used in various activities. Once per scene, you may reduce the cost of creating advantage to 1 momentum when you seek acquire such gear.
Spectacular. And
Mhm.
yep, it will give you exactly that option. So you first are able to find essentially some light. Well, you can go one of two ways. You can take essentially some light sparring gear that will provide some protection to sort of chest, a bit of shoulders, forearms, and like shins, basically. Or you could conceivably locate an Anbojutsu outfit of your own. There will
No, I'm a Klingon. I'll take the light gear.
Okay, so that'll give you another bonus resistance here, which as a proper Klingon Hemhoch, you do actually have the Braklol, so resistance to all attacks is automatically increased to 1, or 2 in the case of non-lethal blows, which when it comes to the gear that you're working with, everything here is meant to be non-lethal.
Right.
So, in the meantime, uh,
Should we all armor up or just you?
I will. It is a Vulcan captain hero. I don't think if it gets through Ramsey and I, that there really is much reason to um just give you. I like, yeah, you stand no fucking chance.
I die because I don't have any training, and Vulcans are very strong. She looks suddenly worried about the whole situation.
Well, then pray to pray to your
You're a
guild.
Klingon princess. You can do this. You've got this.
Right, right.
I'm sure Klingon High Command really didn't want you to take this job.
Um,
Julia, you could always just hide, but you got to be quiet. Vulcans
I'll
have got good hearing too.
I'll be there for presentation, and then if it goes bad, I'll hide. I might have one thing I can do.
Give him free tickets to the show tonight.
Yeah, that plus something else. I might have something I could help out with if it goes bad, but we'll see.
alright. So, sure enough, from down the corridor, as Ramsey, your cook begins with the broth, and the rest of you get into whatever positions you think might help you in the coming circumstance. Um, you see a figure marching down the hall with a large staff of some sort with different components to what would appear to be some sort of weapon on either end. You know, Celeste, from your experience, that this is obviously a blunted Anbojutsu staff.
Our
that doesn't mean they're
pinnacle
not
of martial
deadly.
arts.
They're not. Doesn't mean they're not deadly. They're just. It's a lot hard to make them deadly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyone experienced enough with it could definitely make it a deadly weapon, but it's troublesome enough.
Yep, I will make sure I am like a step away, a step behind Ramsey, but close enough where I could parry if need be.
Okay.
Do you want me to make a roll for the presentation of the meal to maybe help with the overall roll to get the Vulcan?
Well, I think that we shall need to finish off the meal first, which reminds me, Craig, I'm now going to ask you for one more. I'm going to ask you for the next roll and what is effectively a gated challenge here. Your ingredients are starting to cook now. Give me another control and science roll, and this time I'm setting the difficulty up to 3, and I'm spending a point of threat to increase your complication range by 1.
Okay.
It is a new session, so you technically have your value back, right?
Yes, everybody has their determination back so far as I'm concerned with the house rules.
And do we have our momentum and
There's still momentum, yes.
Okay.
There's 3 in the pool right now, as you and I believe our. Well, no, it's not quite in shot for our audience. Oh dear, we're on the wrong. I just realized we are on the wrong overlay. Presto, changeo. Or better yet, with this is more Q appropriate. We're back on vacation, everyone.
Ah, nice.
Uh, sorry, for a moment the timelines were crossed. In any case, yeah. What was the
Uh,
next
yes.
move here? So control.
So, yes, control science.
Yep. With a
Uh,
difficulty of 3 and a complication range now up to 2.
I'll spend an extra dice for. Sorry, spend momentum for an extra dice.
Mhm.
Focus cooking techniques.
Oh, so you succeed, but with a complication. So that
We
is
can
3 successes on the 1 critical. But go ahead. I believe. What were you going to say there, Panda?
you can use some momentum to get rid of that that botch.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Yeah, let's get rid of that botch with a couple of momentum there. Shoo it away.
Okay. Panda, if you care to drop that.
Yep.
So the figure has reached a point where he is much closer in view. You can now more clearly make out the face of a Vulcan individual. His face implacable and seemingly perfectly ordered. His eyebrows in a permanent sort of furrow, although one might almost say that it looks angry or frustrated. Then again, that could just be his resting expression. It is difficult to tell. But
I mean,
he,
let's be honest. All
all
Vulcans
Vulcans?
look like
All Vulcans look like that.
not every Vulcan has resting angry face. Um, in any case, he approaches and with his staff in grasped in either hand at an alert position, he approaches and says, "What is the meaning of this?"
This is lunch.
This vessel is in a crisis situation. Uh, this hardly seems to be an appropriate time to set up a tableside service, particularly when there are no tables and this is not a dining location. This is a safety hazard, and you should move.
Oh, no, I set up an area for him to eat that does not violate any of those rules using my extensive knowledge of customer service and the dining equipment of the vessel.
He'll he'll cast a brief look to Julie before turning his attention back to the rest of you. I have reason to believe that there was computer access to a junction in this area, and that action triggered environmental hazards which prevented me from reaching the bridge of this vessel. You will explain.
I'm the head chef, sir. I don't know anything about computers.
Then you will permit me to pass so that I may determine who is responsible for this.
Well, I'm sir. certainly not going to stop a Starfleet officer from performing his duties, but I would recommend said Starfleet officer have some intake of calories, considering his very high workload, especially physical workload.
Considering the dangers of the situation, nutrition is logical.
Go ahead and give me a presence and command, one of you. I would say one can take lead and the other can assist.
I can smash this. I can smash.
What's your presence and command?
Oh, dude, it's off the chart, buddy.
Good, because mine's just 12.
Presence 11, command 4.
Oh,
So,
beautiful. Yep, that's
but
you
I have
lead.
customer service, which I have used. It is her weapon. Okay.
Oh, actually, can I also produce? I've got this special. No, wait, special. That's alcohol only. No, leave that one out for now.
I mean, if
Okay, complication range 1, it's a task 2. I'd like to add my focus of customer service.
So that
And,
you can tap that and it will expand your critical success range.
okay. And let's see. Do be aware I have computers too, but I'm not.
Just because he's hyperlogical does not mean the Vulcan is not a literal computer.
Oh no, I know that. I'm just reminding you that I have another focus and it may get used.
Fair enough.
Okay. I hit task. It didn't go through. Let me roll it again. Roll 20 is. Okay, here we go. There we go.
Okay, 2 successes there.
Okay, it said Alaska, but let me switch over. That's virtual.
That's fine. I will take the 2 successes there. Let us see how Captain Steg perceives this. This is a high stress situation, and food is not necessarily the most appropriate, at least for a full meal, but perhaps some caloric intake would be necessary. Very well. I will require one fortified nutrient bar with a high balance of minerals and proteins.
Well, this presentation we've already created has all this because we thought you might need this.
He glances over the soup that's being prepared, which, because you bought off the complication at this point, Ramsay, you're at a stage where you have already sprayed some of the. You took the opportunity to spray some of the foam over it, so and have it covered now. So the smell of spice is not washing over this man. Nonetheless, you were aware then that I was going to be making my way through here. And he looks around to see the lot of you. You're an unusual assortment, and you're aware both of my my transit and of my of my status as a Starfleet officer.
Oh, I went to Starfleet Academy.
Indeed, he says, without raising an eyebrow. Would I be correct to presume that you had something to do with the obstacles which I was encountering?
My job is to make a passenger's experience more dynamic and interesting and solve problems for them.
I mean, be it far from me to make things more complicated, but I feel like the mock looks guilty as hell.
Yeah, it's like
It would be.
I look innocent as hell. He looks guilty as hell.
It would be illogical for a prestigious Vulcan itself to simply practically walk and not use his skills accordingly to save the ship.
Indeed.
I can just imagine Demok just standing there nonchalantly whistling.
I can imagine you on the bridge of a starship, sir. You probably say "indeed" a lot. Is that your like captain?
I will
term?
I will very gently, but still in a Klingon gentle, just elbow check. Julie, just like shut up.
Okay.
Yeah. Stag does look around and makes eye contact with Demok. And what is your function on this vessel?
He's there to be annoying.
That is,
Who? Me?
this Vulcan is just staring a hole right through you.
I have no idea if benzoids can sweat, but Dimok's sweating.
Demok would be the one to sweat, yes.
Yes. It's now canon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to stop you. I'm gonna have to ask you to stop intimidating members of our crew by staring blankly at them.
One could presume from the gear that he carries that he is one more technically proficient and thus the most likely to have created the obstacles which I've encountered. It is further a distinct possibility that this is all an obstacle to prevent me from achieving my objective and rescuing the ship. The motivation, however, is not logical.
Exactly.
You will
The
explain
motivation is
yourselves.
the motivation here is to bring you soup so that you can solve our problems.
There are a number of troubles that require the best uh, 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 mental fortitude and
And
discerning
experience. And experience.
critical thinking. And
Exactly.
we hope that this ditch can perhaps sharpen your senses and allow you to be at your peak logical skills.
Celeste and Julie, give me another presence and command here as you tried. You
We're
are now
laying on the
effective.
shit thick.
You are effectively in social combat now, and you are trying to prevent this Vulcan from escalating.
Kia!
Guys, this is social combat against a Vulcan. We shouldn't lose this.
No.
So-
And Julie will not. Not with her, no, she does not want to lose this. Do we want to spend a momentum on this? Because I have 11-4. I'm going to hit him with customer service again.
All right, I will
Give me a
assist.
momentum. Give me one.
I will assist.
Okay, you will assist.
Go ahead.
You guys
Go
want
ahead
me
and,
to-
and take. Go ahead and take the single momentum we have left.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I've got a focus.
And I have etiquette as a focus. Would that work?
That would apply here.
Yeah. We're tag teaming.
Let's
It's
go.
the white girl and the Klingon tag teaming him. Okay,
All right.
I'm going.
Ready? Let's go.
Yep.
It's one. Oh fuck yes.
Oh yes, this is her kung fu right here. What?
While your timing is exceptionally poor, however, there is some merit to the notion of ensuring that I am in peak physical condition. The risk of combat and of various threats to the ship will make it necessary that I am of fully clear mind and body when I engage whatever is dealing with the ship, be it anything anomalous, be it a more concrete foe, such as pirates, or perhaps a hostile enemy power. Taking the ship into battle may prove necessary, and I will require all of my mental faculties to maintain discipline and allow us to survive.
You will.
Very well. Chef, if this broth you have is of suitable quality, then and has the necessary fortification in terms of protein, vitamins, and minerals, then I should be I should be in a state to take some of it and hope that it will provide me the necessary boost, as it were.
I'll present him with a bowl and a
Oh,
spoon.
okay. Now, as your crew buy you or your teammates buy you the time that you need in order to get this set, um, you have a bowl emptied out beneath the foam that you've set up. There's a swirl of something evil and spicy beneath the surface. Something that you are confident would make most people, well, for lack of a better term, out of some of the waste of time, some of those wastes of time that you've seen other people encounter, those animated two-dimensional displays that would have them shoot steam out their ears and have their faces change color as if it were an old-style heat thermometer.
Haitian chilies in there
Yes.
with the seeds.
So
Ghost chili.
you present uh, Captain Stag the bowl of soup with the insanity peppers. Uh, Now, how would you like to use this essentially to create an advantage for him if you can because essentially this soup you could use it to impose complications, you could use it to um, increase the difficulty on further tasks he might have to do. The possibilities are well,
Yeah, I think it'll probably like increase difficulty on task because it'll be hot, he'll be sweating, he'll be gasping for water. His mouth and throat will be on fire, and of course, it'll be on his lips. So maybe he tries to rub his lips, and then that's on his hands, and his hands are touching things, and maybe he touches his eyes, and then the chili is now in his eyes, and it's horrible.
yes, absolutely. Okay, so with that, Stag will take a bowl. He will regard it very briefly with one more check of insight and security. Still slightly suspicious of the timing of everything. If the chef would like to invoke any sort of presentation skill of his own here, particularly calling in some distracting plating, then I would allow you to contest that or make things a little
I
more
want to
difficult.
counter any of his social moves. I'm going to counter. I'm ready.
Oh, I think this
There'll be
one.
there'll be a kind of like a nice, pleasant swirl of what looks to be, I guess, rice or something around through the bowl, but the rice has been like steeped in chili oil. Um, uh, there'll be like little specks of what seem to be herbs and stuff throughout. So it's a nice, colourful bowl there, and of course there's that foam, kind of in a almost a mountain conical shape in the center.
I like it. I'm going to ask you for let's call this presence and I do feel like presence and command is appropriate here, just because of the this element. But um, yeah, I'm going to say presence and command. However, I think you have a talent that could help with that.
Distracting plating
Yes.
as a
Can
chef.
I
Would you care to
assist?
give? Sorry, before you jump in there, Julie, would you care to give us a read on that talent there?
Distracting plating. As a chef, you know an important part of the dish is how you arrange it to elevate the dish. When the character engages in a social conflict using deception, the character may use science in place of command, so long as their cooking knowledge is used to mislead their opponent. I think
Okay.
this qualifies.
Yep. So, Stag is going to take a roll to try to run insight against this. You may roll presence and science and give any sort of description of the dish as well as, or rather, do anything. You can add any bit of fluff that you wish to say about the dish alongside the description you've already given.
It's a nice, relatively beige-looking dish, but with the with those swirls of chili fried rice there and the foam. And what will happen is that it starts off slow, kind of like warm but pleasant. But it's one of those heats which grows and grows with each spoonful until it's a raging inferno.
By the way, I've had something like this. I've had habanero soup, and exactly
Ooh.
what he's described is what I had. And all I will say is, I will never eat more than a bowl of that when I go to this restaurant again. Yeah, like a cup is all I can handle.
So
I will use so he got what, two there?
yes, Steg has rolled 2 successes against whatever check you roll here.
Would you like me to assist on
Uh,
that to give you some more successes?
if you want, yeah, I'm going to use spend my value, which is a good meal heals the soul.
A good meal heals the soul.
I will accept that. Are you invoking it for the automatic critical success?
I am, yes.
A good time to do it. Good job.
All right. So go ahead and
Cooking
give me
our
that
way out
roll.
of the place.
And then, Julie, if you wish to add anything to the description here, then you may roll presence and command in order to,
Yeah,
as an assist.
she folds the napkins for him while he's arranging the food and puts down like a Vulcan, symbol, something that you might put on the tray of a Vulcan, something that's,
An
you
edict,
know,
basically.
yeah, I'm just making it look pretty. And I'm going to use presence, command, and customer service.
Okay.
Uh, and I'm rolling 1 assistant dice.
Correct.
There we
Okay.
go.
So the automatic critical success automatically matched Steg. So between Ramsay's 2 successes and Julie's 1 success on top of that, you have a total of 3 in surplus. So you gain 3 momentum, or you can turn around and spend it here as he begins to take this over. So I'm going to, with that much, with so many successes there, and with what you've done, I'm going to say, Craig, the Vulcan now has to undergo a fitness and medicine task, and I will let you set the difficulty on this one for the amount of or for the amount of chilies and everything that you've put in here.
Spend momentum.
Oh,
10 chili, so
he does,
difficulty 10. Is that how it works?
can't quite go that high, but
I think what 4 difficulty 4.
I think that's
But
reasonable.
yeah,
So let me just make sure this is dealed out. All right. So Steg will he will simply bypass gently spooning that in favor of just simply tilting the cup back and getting as much broth down as possible.
most efficient way to do it. Yes.
Yes,
Gotta
he
slurp the
will.
broth.
As roughly half the bowl goes down his throat, he will only start to regret it as he tips back, feeling the gentle heat. You've made most curious choices with the composition.
The spices, yes, it's a kind of traditional Tellarite
This was not
combination of spice, you know.
this was not strictly necessary for my for the dish. He says.
That's right, but again, I'm preparing the dish. You're merely eating it.
He he looks for a moment, looks down as he starts feeling the heat build. He's momentarily.
Otherwise, if we just only ever had what was necessary, it would have just been a bowl of plain rice, which you don't need a head chef to prepare.
He looks around for a moment, still somewhat in control, but he sets down the bowl and says, "Very well. Um, the the obstacles they must be relieved. Uh, you the figure that appears to be a technician. Do you know how to disengage this?"
What? The ship? I mean, the ship seems to be the greatest obstacle here, if you ask me.
You see what I mean? Why he's here to annoy people.
Jamak, perhaps.
Oh, God!
That is a 00 there.
Does he just stroke out?
He looks to you, Democ, letting the commentary process like that. No, that is not what
I
I
mean,
want.
technically, yes.
That is not what I wanted, he says, raising his voice. The ship must continue to function, and I must command it. We require discipline if we are to survive. This
It's a pleasure of mine, sir.
that response is illogical. Illogical. Ah! It says, and he's going to take a swing right at the deck panel.
When he swings the deck panel, I'm going for his ear.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna try and knock him out.
I would have also
Or
accepted a swing at the
or
mock.
severely discombobulate him, because I imagine punching someone in the ear bones is gonna frickin' hurt.
Okay, so
Or
th-
just grab
this is
him and choke him out.
this is an unarmed strike, then I will presume.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'll use my batleth.
okay, so you swing with the
I'm just-
batleth.
Yep. I'm basically rifle butting with the batleth.
Okay,
Um.
he is still going to be able to respond, but his complication range it is up there with that much soup.
All right. So daring and security, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got full momentum, so you can get an extra dice.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna use up to 3 because I want to make sure this guy goes down. I'll use 1 for an extra die, and then I will spend 2 more in that to create an advantage in that he is distracted, and
okay.
he's distracted by making a swing and does not notice my quick movement.
Okay, I will allow. Tell you what, I would be willing to either we can ignore that last dice roll, and I can force him to try and roll again in order to counter, but this time with an even higher complication range. Or
Sure,
it,
that works.
let's see how that goes. So, oh, he rolled the
Yeah.
complication there.
He's not having a good time.
So he is a little slow to well, I will allow the complication to be a narrative one, so technically he would match under normal circumstances, and that might signify a block, but you could use this to your advantage in some other way, maybe get rid of his weapon, or
I've got an
otherwise.
idea. So
What's that?
Go ahead.
Kales brings the bat left down, and the Vulcan reaches out to grab it, but the kind of blow knocks him back against the table and kind of flips the remaining half bowl of soup into his face.
Oh
Oh
God!
no!
Oh yeah.
I'm going to allow for that. I think I will call that 4 challenge dice. With, let's see, debilitating should be a quality for that. Definitely intense. So if he takes an injury, he's going to have trouble ignoring that. And oh geez, with those Cajun chilies, vicious too at the very least.
Yeah, definitely vicious.
Okay,
Vicious
so
you dog.
well let's role play this out here.
Blinding? Is there any sense of blinding in there?
Yeah,
That
should be.
that could be
I've gotten ghost pepper chilies in my eye. That shit will blind you.
if he takes an injury, then yes, that will be part of it. So
I had
stay.
it.
Go ahead.
So I ate from a ramen place, and I had medium spiciness, and I had half a drop end up in the corner of my eye. I could not see and it hurt like crazy to the point of where every time I took a bite afterwards, my eye would instinctively flinch for the
Hmm.
rest of the night. So if that alone was just from medium spiciness, like good God, just imagine.
Yeah, he's in like 4 hot drop. If you go to like a shabu shabu place, he take too many.
He's like 6 or 7 now.
So let's lay out how this scene goes for everyone's theater of the mind. Uh, Kaelest, when he swings the staff hard into the deck panel, it bends momentarily but doesn't break.
Yep,
And it,
I flip the bat lift and just go in forward, forward strike with like a rifle butt
yep,
with my bat lift.
as you go in, his eyes are wide, and he turns to you and just says, "Betrayal, foes, death awaits you!" And he sort of rolls the staff around expertly in order to block. But as you say, when you lock the bat'leth with him, you swing him in such a manner that he hits the table and causes it to flip. The bowl flies off the table, and after doing a loop, splashes the soup over his face. Rice coming down his cheeks and onto the top bits of his armor. And as that happens, let's take a look at damage there. Oh dear. So that would be 4 on its own. However, with Vicious 2, that is going to be 6 damage, or 6 points of stress, which is enough for an injury. It is also intense, so he does not have the ability to, or like it would cost more than he can spend in order to ignore said injury. So, yeah, with that, he is just going to, his face is going to clench. It's like, "Ah!" And he'll drop his staff, clutching his eyes. Traitors, traitors all! You will be brought before the stockade for this. Your your logic is faulty. You've betrayed us all." And he's somewhat prone at this point, so he's just putting his hands around. He has no sense of where you or his weapon has gone.
Can
All right,
we?
I'm going to. She'll just growl and say, "This is for Grinnax," and I will hit him in the weak spot that all men have. As I drop a knee.
The face?
Nut shot.
Yep. One more daring and security, and this will not be contested.
It's 2 and endurance rating.
All right, that'll give you a momentum,
Crap.
and yeah, go ahead and roll damage for an unarmed strike.
Tell him pond for this.
What do the specials do when it comes to challenge dice?
So for that, the effects are the effects for an unarmed strike that just basically determines whether something happens. So in this case, an unarmed strike only has the knockdown effect. That
Okay, well then I'll just do it again. There we go.
oh dear.
Just another 2.
Yep, you just start stomping the Vulcan on the ground as he cries out for the issues ahead. Cries out about betrayal and how you are a threat to Starfleet and how order must be maintained and all that. But the true betrayal to you, or the true the greater violence here was that which was done to your staff, who are just they're basically just doing their work. If they're getting
They're
any,
sweethearts.
yeah, yeah,
They're big, muscly sweethearts that could
yeah.
probably kill you if they, had an issue with you. But they won't because they're sweethearts.
Is he unconscious now?
He is most definitely unconscious.
Let's lock him up. Let's lock him in a closet. We got to make sure this guy does not come out and become a threat again.
Yeah. There is a one I can think of, and she'll just pick him up by the shoulder and drag him to the weapons locker, empty out one of the lockers, and just stuff him in there and close it, unlock it.
I'll help her. I'll help
With
her out.
with the
That
arm.
was that was some really cool Klingon stuff you did. I've never seen a Klingon in action before. It was really great.
Thank you.
I mean, she mostly just stamped on the guy while he was on the floor, writhing in pain.
It was awesome.
I'm so sorry. Don't tell anybody about that one, please.
I won't.
So you don't want anyone to tell about the time that you attacked a Starfleet hero.
No.
And then knocked him onto the ground, threw spicy soup in his eyes, and then proceeded just to stomp on him while he's completely unarmed.
If a Klingon could pale, she is pallid and practically vibrating in terror. As she has a panic attack right there.
I agree. We should never talk about this again. To think he survived all those Jem'Hadar attacks and got taken down by us.
Yep. As you stuff him into the closet, his eyes are puffed up and I'd imagine have taken on a greenish hue. Unfortunately, that is exclusively from the pepper, and it is very unpleasant. He's going to need something more basic than milk in order to.
Can I get him some eye drops? Can I find some eye drops or something? I mean, this is a cruise ship. That stuff's probably everywhere.
I'd say, if you go through, let's say, with a reason and medicine task, then you might be able to find something in the first aid kit.
Okay. I will do that. This is the first customer she's ever had to subdue and put in a weapons locker.
Hopefully the last.
Hopefully.
First of many.
Okay. So reason and medicine, which I'm not bad at. Can I use a computer? Because I have the focus of computers.
You may.
Okay. Da, da, da. One success.
All right. I will say that you have the opportunity to find some eye drops in the in a nearby first aid station. It's a little more complicated trying to open his eyes and get something in, so your success is probably a little variable.
That's okay, and I'll leave the bottle in here for him.
Yeah, just set it in one of his hands with his armor, it's smooshing him up so much.
And I'll give him a little smiley face, so when he wakes up, he's got a smiley face.
Oh God! I can just imagine you pushing down the visor so that you don't have to look at his face, and then just making a smiley face on that in space Sharpie.
And the next time he comes back, do you want to know how I got these scars?
Oh dear.
I need to clean this up, but I'll be right behind the rest of you toward the bridge.
Okay.
I'm going to clean up a little bit, just a little bit, and I'll wait till I don't hear them, GM. Then I open the chest, grab what's left of the soup, and just continue to pour it on the Vulcan's face a little bit more,
Oh,
and then
God.
close it.
You,
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Now we know why. Now
you,
we know why he's smiling.
you hear a very gentle sobbing as you leave. You've broken him in a way that only interactions with a supercomputer, with super pollen, or encounters with a mind so advanced and sophisticated that it is beyond standard sentient comprehension has.
But my mother would be proud of me.
Your mom would be, really.
She's a fucking Cleon. She's a Cleon queen. Yeah, I imagine that kind of viciousness totally acceptable. But nobody will know. Anyway,
Well, the question is, what does your mom say when people ask what she does? Well, what is she doing?
we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't talk.
We
We
do
don't
not
talk.
discuss it with outsiders. Okay. So, after a bit of time, and after Democ disengages the hostile weather subroutines, you begin making your way back towards the bridge, or at least to the turbolift that will take you up to the bridge. From the exterior, you can still tell that the whatever anomaly, the exterior cams, and indeed a shot that the audience would have for perspective, you know that the Rainbow Sands remains caught in the anomaly, or otherwise impaired by whatever dampening effect it has had. However, the captain has already said before you lost contact with him that he believes that the ship can escape with the engine power that you now have. However, the four of you still need to breach the bridge, so you make your way up to a turbolift and the requisite turbolift and start the trip up to the bridge. Um, on the way there, are any of the four of you seeking to do anything at this point?
Just make sure Damok doesn't cause any more trouble.
So what? Who's the who's the remaining captain we have left? Looks over at Julie. Julie probably knows, right?
Yeah.
She's the concierge.
Yeah, who is now in command?
Well, without knowing for certain, your best guess would be the other member of Starfleet that you had on board, the third of these captains, which give me a command and reason roll. I will set the maximum difficulty on this to 3.
This is for me?
Yes.
Okay. Is this to see if I know the captain?
This is to see how much you know about them. Yes.
Okay, and what's the roles again?
The
Present,
It is going to be reason and command.
reason, and command. Can I use a local computer to see if it can help me?
I will allow you to access a hand terminal of some sort that would allow you to connect to the main database, or you might have a personal pad that has all the guest information so that you can be prepared. All right,
Here we
4 successes, so that is going to be enough to earn you back one more momentum, which I could have sworn we had more at the start, but then I recall that
We spent some.
you dumped it all and just making making Steg thoroughly incapable of responding.
That's right.
So,
Mhm.
with that, you find that the last of the Starfleet captains on the roster that was here would be one Captain Gon Thradish. She is a Tellarite captain, and easily one of the more notable mavericks in Starfleet at this point. Um, her record,
Great.
yeah, her record to you, at least that which is public, and there is a considerable bit of information which is not. Uh, but it suggests, Julie, that she has gone a number of times in a more unconventional direction. There have been negotiations that seem to be falling apart, where she would inexplicably put the negotiating parties in an unusual, occasionally dangerous situation, all in order to get them out of it, um, or rather to help them break an impasse. And sometimes it came with loss of life. Other times it shook up some nerves, but it did what it was meant to do. Other times she has rescued her ship or other ships in ways that definitely risk some injury. Probably a few gold shirts that went down in the process, but she has come out generally producing a better outcome. The
She's like Tellurite Kirk, essentially. We got Tellurite Kirk here.
I
Female
mean,
Tellurite.
they're all Kirks. Um,
of
But
affection.
I'm going to brief everybody on her as we're going up the elevator so that they know what we're dealing with. So,
Yep.
she'll go over the bio and the info as we're
Yeah.
going up the elevator.
Ironically enough, there was a recent flare-up in the Tanaxi-Fabonin relationship, one of the long-standing sort of diplomatic rows that has kept the former species out of the Federation for an extensive period of time. It seemed as though a breakthrough were likely, but she engineered some sort of plot by which the Teenacs were suddenly in a very vulnerable position, and that the Fabonin tried to offer help and demonstrate that they weren't so bad. But the circumstances wound up causing the head of the Tenaxi delegation to be so embarrassed as to return home abruptly and declare all-out war against the Fabonin and, in the process, the Federation. Thankfully, the Tenaxi are not particularly noted for their military, so there's essentially a Centaur class vessel, kind of a slightly more modern version of one of the Mirandas that basically uses a tractor beam to nudge them away every so often. But it was a bit of a stain, a little bit of an embarrassment, particularly post-Dominion War when Starfleet's been trying not to do anything military related. So, in that being the case, it was decided administrative duty and then eventually some medical leave for Captain uh, for Captain uh, Thrasdish.
Okay, guys, this is who we're dealing with. She ought to be willing to try to find a solution. It might be unorthodox, and we have to deter her from jeopardizing our valued customers.
What you mean, like we did with the Vulcan?
I think she might be much more negotiable and trying to find a solution. So I believe we have a chance to work with her.
she caused the war when there was already a solution.
Yeah, Kirk did that a few times. Look, she's here. She's on the bridge. We knock her out if she's a threat. Which case, we better figure out something to do that. If we're going to pull the meal trick, we better pull it again. However, she's more of a cagey player. She's not a Vulcan who's suffering from some kind of condition. Where we're dealing with. She's on duty, right? GM. She's active duty.
Um, Technically, she's been taken off duty right now.
Okay, so she's off duty. That means she has no authority above and beyond what a civilian does on a ship, right?
That hasn't stopped the other two captains.
Okay, so
Yeah, they
really,
feel because they're captains of Starfleet ships that they can take
They act
command
like
of a
Starfleet
regular
captains.
pleasure cruiser,
They
because the
act like
two are
Starfleet.
totally the same.
okay,
They act,
then
they
how
act
are
like
we gonna
Starfleet captains.
how are we gonna get her? She may not be as combat proficient, but she could be. She's been in a lot of grisly situations according to her record. So then the
Well,
question is, if we're gonna take her out, how do we do it?
With a big club?
It seems like she gets bored when things get slow, and I'm more worried about what she's already has planned to make it go faster.
Okay,
Um,
I've got a potential solution. We could bring her a drink to the bridge. We could put something in it to knock her out, sort of the same kind of plan we did before, and hope that that works.
maybe we can ask a captain we know that was also um, around her recently.
Yeah, that would be great.
presumably
Who
not
is?
the captain we just stuffed into a
No,
security locker.
the first captain she
The
flushes.
first captain, the one who
Connix,
was
yes.
commanding holograms around.
Yeah, let's see what he knows. We should be able to
He-
contact him.
she-
Ship communications is up,
See
right?
what she knows. She, the woman.
She knows.
Okay. All right. All right. She just like motions to press the communicator. Stops. Just stays in that position as if she's debating whether to press the communicator or not.
Is there something wrong with the communications?
She just sweats as she starts having a panic attack about trying to communicate with Captain Connix.
I'll press it for you.
Yeah.
You're on the
No.
line.
I'm going to ask actually for one control and engineering from Ms. Sunshine, and I'm spending my
Good.
last threat to increase the complication range
Oh,
to 2.
you are. I see how you are.
For some reason, I like it less that he has no threat.
Okay. What am I rolling? Reason and engineering?
Control and engineering, actually.
Control and engineering. And my task roll is 2.
Yep.
Okay.
2 successes with no complications there. So you've avoided that, and I've blown off the last of my threat in the process. Not to say other complications may not ensue. But yep, with that, the channel searches. Julie, I just imagine you give a quiet thumbs up. It's like just mouthing, "You got this."
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And
Come on. Give her the thumbs up
yeah, and
and the super customer service smile.
a slightly uncertain voice greets you. Hello, hello. I'm sorry, my ship terminal beeped. Hello.
Yeah, Captain Connix, this is Celeste, Princess Celeste. I just wanted to, so, uh, you remember what we're having to deal with, and we found out that it is oh, what was the captain again? Jesus, just like one breath. What was the captain again, guys? Out of character. Oh, Captain Chernum gone
Thrasfish?
Yes.
Oh.
And since you both are in the same recovery program, I was wondering, um, how what's your opinion?
I would say that, I mean, she's absolutely brilliant, but she's also, I think that it was put best by, A former XO of mine used to describe it, someone who was from the sciences program used to describe the difficulties when there would be occasional just free like highly available amounts of objects to study or something of the sort. Um, they would describe it as shiny object syndrome. That is to say, if something popped up, then that would be the focus of their attention, and they might get distracted by something similar of the sort. When a situation emerges, Thrasdish, for lack of a better phrase, really goes all in with the most unconventional, innovative solution that she can think of. Granted, I only know of her exploits by reputation beforehand, and well, when we took the shuttlecraft here, I saw them imposed in some of the most low stakes of scenarios. But um, yeah, suffice to say, she's well,
She likes shinies, then, as it were.
she likes to latch on to a problem, and her solution is always typically ambitious.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything else that you can give us? And yeah. Uh,
Oh
hmm.
well, I, I I'm afraid I don't know that much about her personally. I know that she can be very exacting when the situation comes up, and obviously, if you try to shoot her down whenever she suggests something, occasionally that can mean she does have some of the more argumentative qualities of a Tellarite, so that can occasionally be she might be a little abrasive at times, but well, I would
No,
expect
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
Oh no, certainly not, certainly not. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was talking to other people
Oh
here.
yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. We're with the rest of them. I just we're about to deal with it, and I thought you're a very capable captain, and you probably had some ideas. But yep. Thank you. I'll talk to you. Should have seen something.
Yep. There's an awkward few moments, and just because this is a civilian-oriented place, I'm going to say that there is there's like music playing for the remainder of your turbolift ride.
It's
So
ACC's Highway to Hell and Muzak. We just don't recognize it.
Oh dear.
I actually, what is my reason? Let me check. Probably not that great. Nope, not that great.
Uh,
Daring isn't so bad though. Okay, I have a potentially an idea, and I might need your help with it, Dermot.
Of course, sir. How can I assist?
Sir. This is like yourself. So if she has lots of if she's a problem seeker and enjoys fixing problems, perhaps we can create a series of small problems and ultimately lead to the problem we have, which is a captain that that is trying to take over the ship and likes to have think of terrible solutions, extreme solutions, and we take her advice.
I'm
She,
not sure how I can help you, sir. I'm here to fix things, not to cause problems.
but you know what problems could be made that would be require fixing. Like you can do small little glitches and other things that can get in the way.
What she's proposing is that we create a problem for the Tellurite to solve, and
A
that'll
series of them
or a series of problems, even better.
to distract her,
Yes, it's a great idea.
and then drop in at the end our problem, which is just her, and but make it from perspective of, like, another captain on board, um just so she have a solution toward that, and then we just literally follow her solution, except at her.
But aren't her problems more of a diplomatic nature?
Good point.
They
But
are,
if
but we won't be able to solve them unless she's engaged with a problem, because Tellurites are extremely argumentative. So trying to get into any kind of discussion with her about changing her path isn't going to work. But giving her a series of problems to deal with will.
If those problems are distracting enough, it might get away from the bridge.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, we could certainly try.
So, Mark, can you cause enough problems?
Oof, I don't know if I can, sirs, but I'll try my best.
We believe in you.
That's the moment he never fails again.
I'll give him a customer service pin of
Just-
Rainbow Sands, a beautiful pin.
just Durmok, if you can please, pretty, as the humans say, pretty please, don't blow up the ship, because I might have a girlfriend now, and I'd like to enjoy that later.
I
Please.
mean, to be fair, blowing up the ship would solve a lot of our problems.
Please don't.
Uh,
Not
I-
wrong, but
I will.
Solve all of our problems.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm speaking very minusculely. Can everybody hear me just fine?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Julie, for the encouraging words and giving Democ the pin, that small sign of validation or whatnot. Give me a command and presence roll, difficulty 1. This is just actually no,
Okay.
I'll reduce it to 0. This is you just revving up Democ in this case, which will hopefully help the group here.
That's what she does.
What is this strange feeling? Workplace satisfaction?
Okay, I will not use customer service because this is not a customer service situation.
No, it is not.
It is a.
And Democ cannot begin to comprehend it, and the group like.
Well, it was a nice shot for some momentum, but we did not make it.
Yep.
But the pin is really pretty.
Yeah.
It's like the best pin she gives out to the best customers.
And she has like 50 of those.
She's got a pocket full of pins.
The complication would have been that you give Democ too many pins and he realizes it's nothing special.
I think the dangers of that are really low. Oh, so many pins! This is amazing. So mine, like, what kind of problems were you thinking about? Like, just technical problems, or?
Yes, but they've got to be good enough that they're going to engage a Tellurite Starfleet captain. So you're going to have to make one or two, like the first one, like maybe a connection of problems. That way, when she gets into it, she's totally enthralled because she's a problem solver.
Oh God, I have a terrible idea.
Look, I had to keep.
I have a terrible idea, Zach. Can I give the computer like a Tellurite personality and make it really argumentative?
That is a distinct possibility.
So that she just fights with the Tellurite captain?
And then give her the route to fix it, and she'll already be doing the job when we get to the bridge. That's even better. That way she
It,
doesn't even know it.
altering the master controls from the computer's generic customer service segment will probably require access to the bridge. So we'll go ahead and set you in that scene here, unless there's anything else you want to do. But
No, I
we'll
think I'm prepared.
yeah. Anything else? Caleste, Ramsey, Demark?
I'm very open to suggestions for problems I could cause, because I'm drawing a lot of blanks. Otherwise, I have nothing else to do
Power
right now.
you could fake her out that the power systems are having problems. She'll want to get on that because power controls impulse, and she might be trying to move us away from the anomaly.
Yeah, have the bridge lights start flickering on and off.
Just turn off the inertia dampers on the bridge.
Well, turn off the artificial gravity on the bridge.
I mean, but wouldn't that also? I mean, I'm happy to do that. Don't get me wrong. But wouldn't that also hinder us if we have to get access to the bridge?
Yeah, so
We could get. They're probably like EVA suits, which we can get the magnetic boots for.
Fair.
I think you do also still have the hover packs from the other part of the.
Can I? Okay. Then I would, if I can do that. I don't know what I can do from here, where I need like more access. But can I set the environmental controls on the bridge to like random, so that it just like changes the light constantly, gravity, all these things?
Sure, yeah. I think it'll be something you have to attempt once you are in the bridge, just because of the nature of it being a control center. But provided everyone else is able to keep the captain engaged, then you should be set.
Okay.
All right.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yep. So after the longest turbolift ride, you find your way into the bridge. It is a relatively utilitarian setup, one inspired by Starfleet Starfleet designs very largely, and I do not understand why it is displaying an older image there. Let me fix this very quickly. Apologies to everyone in chat here. I'm just going to broaden this out and adjust the zoom. There. Hopefully this still looks good for everyone. Okay. But yes, very utilitarian, very much befitting more sort of Starfleet look, essentially. You arrive on the bridge, and you see that the remaining crew seems to have all been dragged about and set elsewhere, probably in the nearby closet. You find a single Tellarite woman going between different consoles and working on things. She looks to you and says, I was wondering when some sort of relief might get here. Welcome. You've arrived not a moment too soon. Presuming you can, of course, do anything, she says.
You may presume I can do something. I look at her very seriously.
Well, what stations would all of you feel most comfortable with? Don't everybody stay silent here.
I'm mostly comfortable under the stations. And look at this one! That she points to one on the other side. This one's faulty. It's a good thing that I'm here.
Oh, good.
I'm still in my Chef Whites, so
I would just start walking over, hopefully. It's perfect deception.
I could do science.
She'll just straighten her back.
I can do
shake her
science.
head,
sea
And-
stuff, I suppose.
Say, Captain, there are multiple issues throughout the ship that might hinder us in our progress. Your progress here.
Hmm. You're not wrong. We're dealing with a bit of a humanitarian catastrophe, as I understand it, and, well, frankly, I know that I had a couple passengers come along with me, Connix and Stig, I believe. They should be kept you should keep an eye on them under all circumstances. They are not they don't have everything together, as it were, she says, tapping her forehead. But yes, well, she says, looking to Ramsay, I suppose I could trust you at the science station if we need to analyze a good souffle there. Or do you have other uses?
No, I'll just spend my time analysing the souffle with the ship's sensors. I suppose it has sensors.
Oh, good. How about you replicate us something nice too while we're at it?
I won't dignify that with an answer. Replicator.
Oh my fucking god!
Yep.
That was
She.
literally that was a literal get back in the kitchen.
Yep.
Um,
That was definitely her giving the most subtle of jabs.
Yeah. So replicate.
Um,
Yep.
and
Right.
she looks to you. Oh, Julie. Julie, yes. You said you're also a science person. Tell me, do you have was that in any useful science, or were you somewhere in the social sciences? Don't tell me. Let me guess. Psychology, political science. What got you out here?
I spent a year in Starfleet Academy.
Oh,
2 years, actually.
oh
So,
boy, 2 whole years.
2 whole years.
Yes, you might have even made it past your introductory courses then.
Of course.
Certain.
You did? I mean, you did. Yes.
Okay, so that's
I can probably take one of the auxiliary positions, and my best thing to monitor would be medical, so I could monitor the condition of the crew and passengers. This is what I can do for you.
I suppose that's good. I haven't heard from the ship's doctor, but it's not really helpful for for what needs to be for the most immediate crisis.
Sure, but it's good to know where everybody's at. So I'll head over and I'll pull up one of them, key it to medical, and I've got medicine at 3 and control at 10 and insight at 10 and reason at 9.
Okay,
So
well, feel free to move your tokens somewhere on the bridge here.
we got
What are you bringing to this situation, Captain?
Well, mostly
Out of fire phasers? I don't think the
Oh.
Rainbow Sands is really equipped.
No, not at all. I am just I'm trying to bring the big
You're
picture.
you're a passenger. I mean, really, your job is to sit on the beach and enjoy the artificial sun.
Oh, certainly in most circumstances, but I don't mind doing a little bit of freelance captaining when the others
Oh
aren't.
God, Julie's replicated herself.
Oh no!
There's more than one. Oh, damn! Sorry, I didn't see my.
Oh God, it's become like to Mark.
She duplicated. She was too
The-
close to
The
Doc.
bigger tragedy is that the Mog does not have access to his token.
That was a close one. The Overmind says.
Yes. One transporter accident is quite enough for this galaxy.
Well, I don't mind doing a little bit of freelance
Do you know the
volunteer
first
work.
thing about pleasure cruisers?
Well, it's certainly no Galaxy class, but I'd
No,
say
and the Galaxy class is no Rainbow Sands.
I make my way. She acts like the best impression of her mother that she's very much used to, and just strides her way over, sits almost wide-legged before curling her legs in a very authoritative position on the captain's chair.
Captain Thrastish looks to you. That is adorable. Can I get a picture?
seeing as how your Tellarites are a little more than tourists of stars, probably not that far off from what you normally do. You wanted to ask for my position eventually. Here we go. I'm captain. So obey your captain. She grits her teeth, baring her fangs.
I think not. And she says this raising a some sort of what you would guess is improvised weapon, vaguely phaser shaped, but it looks cobbled together as all get out.
I'm
Can
reaching my hands into my because I got a pocket full of pins. So I'm right
Pocket
here.
pins.
Pocket pins. I'm about to become a song.
Are you going to ninja star those?
I'm going to, if she tries to move on you, I'm going to throw them down like something she could trip over. Because they won't do any damage to her, but they could impede her movement and her ability to interact with you.
Yep.
So,
Oh
like,
no,
you know,
she isn't barefoot.
but I'd like to make this argument, okay? So, Galaxy class starships, they have very carpeted, smooth floors, right? So, I'm going to be throwing out a bunch of pins, which on their flat side are very slick. If you stepped on those, you could slip. So, what I might try to do is use the pins to make her slip.
Oh dear.
If she moves on our captain.
I will probably set a task for this in a moment here, but let's see how this goes first. So, um, without without missing a beat, she looks over to. She'll give a side glance to Demok. Uh, you there? You said that you are able to fix things. I'm going to need you to adjust power to engines. Make sure that everything we've got is ready to go in there. If we're going to escape this anomaly, then I'd much prefer that we have it at the ready for the quick burst that we'll need.
oh boy, something to fix.
Okay, so she sends you over to your station. Do you?
Yeah, I can't control my token, so
Oh dear. Let me fix this right now here.
the mock's frozen in fear.
Demok number 6. Okay, and try that now.
Demok is frozen by fear.
Excellent. So where's engineering? Probably in the back somewhere, isn't it?
You could
Yeah.
you could key in a console to whatever settings you wish. So are you listening to Thrasdish here and going for the engines, or are you looking to mess with environmental controls?
I wanted to mess something up. I'm just really undecided what, because what would
Oh,
what
you,
wouldn't can I overload her console, that whole console that she's standing at? I mean, they are made of explodium.
They do have the mandatory stick of dynamite in there.
Especially the ones in the front where she's sitting. They explode all the time. I'm not wrong.
No, you are not. You're right on, sir. You are right on.
I will allow you to do this. I'm going to say this is going to be a gated task here, so you'll have to do 3 separate rolls whilst Thrasdish does essentially engages in a social combat, or possibly actual combat. We'll see where things go between her and Celeste. So
Okay.
the first thing you're going to need to do is start accessing the program and overriding the safeties for the EPS relays in this section. So I think that is going to be, I think for starters, this is either going to be a high difficulty control and engineering role. It is, I think, it would probably be up to difficulty 4 since you don't necessarily have the full level of clearance to what you'd need to do, and it'll take some time to go around that. I would allow you to change that to daring at the cost of giving me some threat here. and reducing
Would
the
that-
difficulty to 3.
I was about to say that doesn't sound like a good deal so far.
You do still
Let's
have
try
2
daring.
Okay.
Because this is going to be a bitch either way. Can I spend a momentum for an additional die?
Go ahead.
I have. I have energy systems and computers, so I think I can use one of those focuses.
Okay. Yes, either would apply. So, whenever.
Trying to see if I can leverage one of my talents, maybe. But I don't think so.
You can use a determination.
I would like to keep that for the worst roll that's coming up. I can feel it. Let's try. Come on.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
That just gets you to the 3 successes there. And
Right on.
Panda, if you, thanks for dropping the momentum there. So you begin to start overriding the safeties on the EPS relays so that you can begin funneling power into a localized console area. As this is going on, Thrasdish says, "Look, I'm completely sympathetic to whatever responsibility you feel, or if the Rise and Pleasure Cruisers have some sort of crazy liability rules, but understand this, I am a professional, and I am your best hope for getting out of this alive. If you
Are you a
Literally
professional?
best
You
thing.
don't exactly get paid to do what you do.
The best thing that Calrites seem to be only good for is eating, perhaps. You even have one as a chef right now to make the case. She kind of chuckles a little bit.
Well, I don't deny that when we take to a profession, we do so with aplomb. I certainly didn't earn the decorations I have as captain.
Decorations. She rolls her eyes. My mother, my whole family are pirates and kings. I have fleets resting on worlds as prizes from generation upon generation. And you bother to even, one, point a mere amalgamation of what you think a phaser is at me. Secondly, that you think you have any sort of mileage to even suggest that you somehow better command from my natural talents. I'm trying to use etiquette to basically Calright argue, more or
Yep.
less.
Yep. It's like, oh, I suppose running the squash court takes quite a bit of fortitude. I suppose I underestimated the great honorable deeds that you won on the in the hot yoga session.
Okay.
Yo,
Julie
Yo.
is angry now because she's being mean and she doesn't need to be. And so I am going to tell you, right, argue with presence and command.
Well, you can try to assist here, but I think
That's a debate. There's definitely a sizing up, a Tellarite sizing up debate between
That's
Colette.
I just want to assist the PC.
Yep.
So,
If you want to make your first roll, we're going to have a presence and command off here.
okay.
Etiquette will apply.
I'm making a assist roll only.
Yep.
No customer service.
Oof. All right. Oh,
You got to
I'm
beat her
going
3.
to- That's fine. You know what? Heck it. Fuck it. She is a princess. I'm gonna use my value of the appearance of a fucking Valkyrie. As she is definitely has long lines of pirate kings and queens, notably queens, and in a male-dominated society that is freaking Klingons, that is certainly something not to besmirch.
Yeah.
And I will also use the last momentum. You guys are okay to add extra die here?
Good.
And I'll use etiquette or acting. It's up for you. Or inspiration.
Any of those would apply.
Yeah. Let's do inspiration. Oh, let's do etiquette. Yeah, that's 5.
And you burn the auto crit.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll give you 2 momentum. So she's taken. As you get really into the monologue here, she's taken aback and she'll she isn't going to lower the weapon necessarily, but she is going to point it away from you, kind of leaning an elbow against the chair. So, you want to save the ship then? Captain? Would it be then?
Your Highness.
Princess?
Oh, says,
of course, Your
she
Majesty.
says with teeth, I am Princess Kayla's second daughter to the House of Kandra, and you will respect it.
Well, respect is one thing, Princess. However, how do you plan? Tell me how you would like to escape this anomaly here.
We need to identify what the anomaly is. What's holding us in place here?
I can already tell you that. I've had time to go over the sensor logs.
Oh,
Then
please do
perhaps
tell us
instead
then.
of-
Yeah. What you're
Perhaps
I
instead
suppose
of-
the sophisticated sensor suite on board this pleasure cruise has told you all you need to know.
Oh, it's barely adequate, but I've seen things like this before. We're dealing with a
God.
We're dealing with a spatial scission, one that's creating an immense subspace and gravitational well that is effectively inhibiting warp, impulse, and thrusters. Simply put, we cannot simply back off, and I would not expect that we would survive trying to go around.
So your plan is
To go through it.
insane. Good.
Oh, I know it sounds risky, but with a burst of full impulse power, which I sincerely hope your engineer is about to give us, we can break our way through, and the spatial scission will probably take us off
Did
a
the
few.
ship over half the
The ship
sector?
the ship will survive. The shields, while basic, are just strong enough in order to do that, and I've already reviewed the engineering charts on the ship. The structural integrity should hold. However,
Oh, you spent 5 minutes skimming through the
Yeah.
manual. Well done.
That is enough.
yes, you would be surprised what you can do when you apply yourself to starships in the way that I have.
I
Yes,
wish
I'm
to
almost
know-
done. This is quite a lot of energy I have to move here. He's not even lying.
Yep,
Smoothest the mock has ever been.
yep. Let's go ahead and start building up that energy load. I'm going to call
Move the
this
mark.
control and engineering with, let's call this another difficulty 2 task here, as you are steadily building up power.
I would like to use another momentum for a third die and try to create more momentum.
Yes.
Go for it. Panda, if you care to drop one of those momentum, please.
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh, that is 4
That is fucking
successes.
awesome.
And
Yep.
generate one
Nice.
momentum.
All right, I'll take it back.
Yes, one spent, one gained. The momentum taketh and the momentum giveth.
Yes. So, yeah, the chef and this erstwhile captain escalate very slightly with their back and forth here. Now, look, Captain, I would very if you want the ship to survive, it's a simple question. We have enough
Your
power for
Highness.
one. Your
Continue.
Highness, she says, letting the last bit linger. We have enough power probably for a single burst of full impulse power, that and keeping the structural integrity intact. Attempting to slingshot around will not be there won't be enough power in order to ensure that the ship would survive that. There's actually a greater risk of doing it that way, and I've been told I need to work on that. Go through the spatial scission, and with that burst, we will probably wind up a few light years away from our current position. Uh, maybe a dozen at most. But the ship has the shields and the structural redundancies to where it should survive without leaving any major breach behind.
What about using the deflector array to try to counter the warp and spatial energies and break free that way?
Oh, I've already considered that, and I didn't see enough power here for what it was. It seems as though somebody's trying to, after main power failed, somebody's trying to crank everything from the holosuites and the other recreational systems in order to do this. It's okay as far as solutions go, but I don't know, a little predictable, I guess.
What do you mean, the deflector solution?
No. The the more the power solution, but yes, I did think of the deflector, but it didn't work so well.
She'll just recline against her captain's chair, getting comfortable with it.
There's one other option. Do we have any shuttlecraft on board?
Do we out of character?
Um,
This is out of character.
Nothing
We
that
have to look
isn't nothing that isn't like basically sublight, not even impulse craft,
No,
and
that's
it's more like
exactly
pleasure skiffs.
what I want. How many of those craft do we have?
Probably half a dozen in the shuttle bay.
We have half a dozen small craft. Is there a way we could use those to disrupt the gravity fields and the warping that's holding us here and use that to break free? That way we don't have to gamble by going through the anomaly.
That would depend. Are they warp capable, and do they have a sufficient power output to? Do they have a sufficient power output to create high energy warp fields around the ship, or high energy subspace bubbles?
No, but my thinking is this. It might be possible to use those small craft, kind of like exchanging two pennies on a table. We break free and we try to put those objects in the capture field and then use the main deflector to free ourselves. Meaning it's a combination. You said the deflector wasn't up to the job. Well, what if it had the help of several objects that could be caught in the anomaly? And also, we have an engineer. He might be able to modify those ships to where they put out enough power to catch its attention. I'm just
As
She squints a little bit.
as a casual, while this is going, I'm sorry to interrupt, Jim, but as this is going, she'll just casually moon over to the captain's console, and I'm just going to tap a message from station to station to the one next to the one right here in front of Ramsey, and type in, "Seems we need more time. Continue to argue, please."
As this is happening, she's like, "You said you were 2 years at the academy,
Yeah.
and what were your major focuses there?"
I shifted majors 3 times.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I suppose points for effort at least, but
Look, the two of you have just been talking absolute nonsense for the past 5 minutes. The thing is, all it's boiling down to is that you want to ram us through the hole, isn't it? That's your grand solution, is to put all the power into engines and hope we get through it. You have spent 5 minutes on this ship. 5 minutes, and you think you know enough to get this ship through whatever the hell that thing is. He'll point to the view screen. You think this is not one of your fancy Galaxy class ships? This is a passenger vessel carrying God knows how many souls, none of who know how to deal with this stuff, and certainly not you.
She'll like entwine her own fingers between each hand as she just relaxes and just seems amused. My own muling of a niece could have a better idea than that.
You're clearly out of your depth, and you're just scrabbling around for something to some kind of buoyancy aid.
Oh,
I have another question. What exactly is inside the spatial anomaly? What kind of forces are in there? Have you been able to scan that?
uh,
With what with our sensors?
let me tell you what you would have heard if you'd paid attention through basic spatial dynamics. Spatial scissions, when they occur, can create temporary bridges between uh, two elements of normal space, traversing a shortcut essentially through subspace. We traverse a scission. We experience some mild turbulence in terms of subspace forces, and the when we get to the other side, we find ourselves into a different part of space. It might be a bit choppy. It'd be very choppy. It's certainly no
What
wormhole
different
trip.
part of space?
Like I said, these anomalies only sustain themselves through a over a short course of time. I know that this is how best to put this here. Oh dear, you don't happen to have a frying pan on you, do you?
Well, she's very distracted. Can I make
I
my
do,
third roll?
yes, actually. Cast iron.
In the moment that she is flabbergasted, Democ, I think that you're at the point now where, I think you're at the point now where you are pushing dangerous tolerances for the EPS grid. So, you realize this will have to be a bit of a jolt to the power system here, but it is going to require a daring and engineering roll, and it is going to be a difficulty of 4.
Really? With Explodium?
Absolutely.
I see the stick of dynamite from back here.
Yeah, we still got to
Ah,
light it correctly.
okay.
Well,
I got
you're
this. I
not
got this.
under her console lighting the match or lighting the
I-
torch, as it were.
I'd be down to do that.
You got your value, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to spend a momentum to buy an extra die to get up to 3. Then
Same.
I would spend a value for the auto crit. I mean, at home in the maintenance tubes, I think works.
I think that would apply.
And then
That
excellent.
that is 3 successes plus the auto crit will give you a total of 5.
Yeah, and as like a flourish, I would make like her console beep as if it's waiting for input, and when she turns around,
Oh dear.
it just blows up.
Yep. So with that, this console here is going to blow and send her back. I think that
When she flies back, I'm going to leap from my chair, catch her, and practically just in a wrestling move, treat her the same way that her mother did for one mutiny, and basically just power drive this towel right into the whole plate.
I would also like to mention that none of this was discussed before.
oh, so the explosion like blows the console apart, sends her chair going back, and has her kind of tumbling end over end through the air.
Yep. I'm gonna
Towards.
come in. Endurance training. Let's go.
Yep.
One die.
Well, the thing is, the explosion in and of itself is a lethal injury, so.
I'm
And
doing non-lethal here.
I would go so far as to say this would be vicious plus the at least vicious 1 plus intense. So with that, that is 6 there, 8. So that is 8 points of stress. And yeah, she's not going to be able to avoid that injury, so she flies back. And you're making another attack, you said?
Yep, I'm catching her in the air and just like slamming her. Like I am suplexing her essentially
Okay.
of sorts.
Daring and security, please.
So we are killing her now.
No, it's unconscious, non-lethal, still on iron strike.
I have to double check here.
If not, like I'll do something else. But
Just I have no idea, but she already has a lethal injury. I don't think we
Yeah,
ever got that far
oh,
with
does she already have
injuries.
lethal?
So.
she has
Yeah,
a lethal
apparently.
injury from blowing up the
Oh,
console.
okay. Then never mind. It's just sad. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, she's badly shrapneled, basically, kind of cut up on the floor, and
I'm going to head over to her and I'll do stabilizing medical, but not enough to bring her back into the fray, so to
okay.
speak.
So you attempt a first aid task. That would be, um, we'll call that a daring and fitness task in order to stabilize her.
Daring and fitness are both attributes.
You are correct, and the GM is momentarily lost his mind. Apologies. I believe it is daring and
Oh
medicine
no!
that I meant to
I've
say.
exploded the fourth wall. Not again!
Okay, so
When
it's
you
daring.
stare into the fourth wall stares back.
That's right. Daring in medicine, right?
Yes, daring and medicine with a difficulty of 1.
Hey, nice.
All right, so that will you will pull out an emergency medical kit from one of the walls and start immediately treating the bandages. She is momentarily stabilized, but I don't believe she can sustain another lethal injury, as it were.
I'll just let everybody know she can sustain another injury. I've stabilized.
No. So
Okay, so we've assaulted 2 Starfleet captains today.
Yep.
Good, good.
No, sir, it was a simple malfunction of the system.
Right.
It's my story and I'm sticking with it.
Can we?
You know what? People will believe you, Damark. People will believe you.
Let's put her in this office and lock her up. You know, although she may need to go down, we may need to get more medical equipment.
Did you say there were a pile of bodies from the rest of the bridge crew somewhere?
Sorry.
Jack?
yes, I did. Sorry.
Yeah, let's put her in with the rest of the bridge crew.
Check her for any other weapons or anything like that.
Yep.
I'll check her.
The only thing you
Check her.
find is the improvised phaser that she was holding.
Is it any good? Like in terms of like, will it actually do anything?
It could still have some uses. There is an active power charge in it. How it will work once you fire it is anyone's guess, though.
Okay. We should find the other captain.
Wasn't she the last?
Okay. Have we moved any closer to the anomaly, or are we maintaining distance at the moment? Are we closing on the anomaly? Is it pulling us in, or are we?
At present, it is merely holding you in place. The ship is currently sort of auto-stabilized at the moment.
And we can't get any communications out, right?
Nobody has tried so far as I know.
Should we just we're in a stable position right now. Let's just call Starfleet for assistance. They'll bring tow ships and stuff. That's another option.
Not a bad idea. Instead of us doing it.
I would think that's the smarter move. There's so many unknowns in this situation.
Yeah, plus we're not very qualified. I mean,
I think this flying through a spatial anomaly to some other location is a good idea. So for our passengers or for us.
Yeah. Demark, you were about to ask a question.
Can I check the maintenance closets for the captain? Was probably unconscious somewhere.
You find him thrown in with the other bits of crew. Essentially, they are all
bits of crew.
No, the crew is intact. The bridge crew are all about, and they're unconscious. The captain, at least, is showing signs of a nasty little scorch mark, and physiologically probably signs of being stunned very heavily. So he's not waking up for a while.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
To make sure this captain does anything more, if I dislocated both her arms, would that cause an injury roll, or can I just do that?
Yeah, that would do something. That you
Actually, I would know something. Because my medicine is 3, there's probably a Starfleet protocol for, like, you know, basically handcuffing somebody to a hospital bed as we do in our hospitals. So I'll find something that'll do that,
I
and
mean, you could just sedate her.
I'll sedate her. Done.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure she's stabilized and she has an area where she has good air. And I'm not going to pull the shrapnel out because that could create more bleeding.
Sure.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that's what
There is a very light shade of disappointment on Celeste's face. But yeah.
the Rainbow Sands Corporation hired me because they liked my medical background.
I'm
Really?
sure.
Yeah.
Good God.
Okay, so we just open communications now.
Let's see if we can get communications. First, if you could check the communication system and make sure it's intact, and then we'll punch the call.
I can take a look.
Okay.
All right. Demark, you try to open a hail, and you find that all subspace frequencies are being messed with by the localized anomaly. It's going to be extremely difficult to get any signal through. There's
I've
also
got an idea. I'm over his shoulder. Once that data pops up, I look at him and go, "How about we use those shuttles to create a chain, and we run the signals through them, and then punch it out."
What's with you and the shuttles?
It's the only way to get the signal. Well, we need to find a way to get the signal out of this area. That means either overpowering it, or it means sending it from a location that is not jammed.
But what good will a signal get us?
Well, if we can get a signal out through any source, Starfleet will send a rescue ship.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. It's really low, GM Zach, but
Yep.
can I think on any situation in which my older sister, my mother, or my grandmother has gone through the situation, how best to deal with it properly and survive?
Well, the so the Klingon way definitely. I'm going to ask you for a reason and command roll to try and call upon the wisdom of
I
your
figured that was going to be the case.
call upon
I'm
the
gonna
wisdom
keep-
of your ancestors, and let's call this just because of
one.
all the time you've spent out here. I think I have to go difficulty 4 on this. You look the part, but this is not your element in the slightest.
But can I argue that, especially if your mother really wants to make sure that you goddamn follow the traditions hard, and despite you not being the element, I think a lot of it would be hammered in.
That's
Just
fair.
that she can't use it. She can't, like, it's not her.
Not her, but she
So-
knows about it. That's a
Yeah.
strong argument.
Yeah.
That's a real strong argument.
So, I suppose
mean-
I can give you one of two options.
Mhm.
You can either take this bit of advice essentially as a focus, or I will allow you to reduce the difficulty by 1. But you have to pick between the two options.
If you do
And it's
that,
still difficulty 4, right? So
Yes.
both of them are utter shit. let's go. I forgot, what did focus do exactly in terms of dice rolls?
That will
Look, all
expand
the stuff
the
is
range
black
of your
magic.
critical
So.
success, basically. So,
Okay. By how much for the focus?
to the level of your discipline here. So in this case, Celeste, if she is using command for this, ordinarily the range would be 1. It actually only goes up to 2 with command.
Yeah, and I don't feel that. Okay.
Okay.
But so let's go with
Difficulty 3 then.
yeah, total difficulty reduced to 3.
Okay, I
Um,
will allow for that.
all right, let's go and see what happens. Oh,
Would you like to succeed at cost?
because I think we're kind of lost right now. So yes, let's. I'll give you the threat.
Yeah. You okay? I'm gonna take 2 threat there. You think back to what your ancestors would have done, for they indeed, you may not have exaggerated completely their background. There were certainly many starship captains in that background, warriors, and possibly the odd pirate somewhere along the line. Um, but the ancient Klingon wisdom, the solution there would definitely be to confront the situation with full force. Any warrior, any captain from the House of Kanra would take this anomaly and go just aim to go as daring as possible. So maybe it's maybe you take the chance on going with the original ship's captain's decision and try to use the engines to back it away, maybe using a slingshot style maneuver, one that undoubtedly birds of prey have used for classic ambushes in the past, or escapes or new attacks, something of the sort. Um, the other option, of course, might be to take Captain Chertham up
Just
on
going
her
through it.
idea of going through it and trying to deal with whatever is on the other side of that, if that's a viable option. They're both
Which
dicey, but
I
that's
imagine usually the warriors that went through such things had the idea of, well, conquer whatever on the other side.
yep.
Um,
Ancient Klingon wisdom says throw all caution to the wind, and if Celeste is trying to embrace that or go after that, then basically she sees those 2 decisions.
how do they fare in all those cases?
I mean, either way, songs were sung of them, and they
Oh
lived
god.
long enough to keep the house going.
Hmm. If I make solution an idea from the original captain of ours,
Yeah.
let's just go. We hit the, as humans say, gas, and use the momentum that we're being pulled towards and just fling us beyond it.
It's a viable way out. Have we eliminated that communications for help is outside of our capacity to do? Because we
It might
are
be
fit
it might be more
right now.
complicated than simply just going through. Not literally through, like she just tosses a
It might
piece
also. It
of
might
the
also.
shrapnel over in this direction at that captain.
Uh, I would personally view going through as something we should consider after we've eliminated other stuff.
I meant
Um,
more of bouncing off it rather than literally into it.
The only thing is, can the Rainbow Sands handle this? This is no combat ship, of either the Klingon Empire or Starfleet. This is not rigged for those
My
kinds.
great aunt did it with a cargo hauler. Then again,
Then if you're
that
going to
cargo
do
hole
that, you
that cargo
only
hauler was probably a patched together freaking former cruiser.
fine. If that's what we want to do, then we need to get all crew and personnel to hard points around the ship before we initiate the maneuver. It's just my suggestion, try communications first, because, there might be Starfleet vessels in the area that can help distract us.
She'll just look to the other two. I'm not in command. I'm just giving the idea.
I know, and we're spitballing ideas so that we take the best one. So that's why we're throwing these out here for everybody to consider.
If Demock or Ramsay want to chime in, of course, it's your prerogative.
Did your aunt survive?
Yes.
Did her crew survive?
She trying to think about it for a moment. I'm not sure.
So that would be the one thing about that. That's the unknown danger. We don't know what the level of that turbulence is in there. I say we plan that option, have it ready to go. But if we can somehow get a signal out here, bouncing it off another option that we deploy behind us, anything, we might be able to get tow help, and Starfleet level equipment that could assist us. They could extract us.
Do you have any ideas, Dermok?
He's being
I think the
asked for
best
an
plans.
opinion.
I'm prepared for this. I think reversing should just be fine. If you're held here, that's how engines work.
We are holding in position and have not moved. So we are a ship that's run aground, but we're not sinking and we're not losing oxygen. These are all pluses right now.
The problem is that the engines probably won't. The engines can only last as long as they can in this stress.
Fair enough. How long is that right now? How long are those engines going to last, Amon?
What would be my best educated guess?
Based on the displays you're looking at, it actually seems auxiliary power has been draining for some considerable amount of time. While you have an extra reserve ready from the secondary systems that you were able to disengage, that'd be enough to give you a good burst, but you are probably looking at... that says 5 hours. No, that's actually the minute mark. You have 5 minutes.
Says we have plenty of time. This is at least 5 minutes.
Okay, I like your idea.
5 minutes. Oh god.
Let's go through. 5 minutes, we have no choice.
No one's going to think of anything better.
No, and there's no time to execute it. I'll head over here. I'm going to make an announcement when you tell me for all crew. And I'm going to...
Okay, hang on. I'm looking at my character sheet. Oh no, I'm actually pretty decent. Okay. She'll say, I'll take over the con.
The con wasn't the one which exploded, was it?
I mean, there's always
we
a
can
secondary
reroute.
console.
We can reroute. Yeah. This is fine. It's all fine.
It's all fine. And we'll re-rig ops to one of these back displays. I'll re-rig it to the one over here by Demock so he can work on it. So we've got ops as an auxiliary in the back by him.
Okay. So I'm hearing that the decision is either to go through the spatial scission or to attempt to slingshot or bounce.
We're going to try to slingshot or skip off it rather than enter.
I think the skip idea is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to start with using operations and my knowledge of the ship. I'm going to start designating safe areas, and we need to start informing people that they need to start moving now. So that's probably room.
All right, I can do this. Breathe.
GM, I'm setting up and putting out announcements for all crew and passengers to head to hard points, and I will use my computer's knowledge, maybe with Demock's help, to send out guides to all displays so somebody can go to a display and find a safe location to go to.
Yep.
I will also message Connix to help out and let her know when each level is cleared, and I will ask Dormuck if you can to just take all the power out of that level once it's cleared.
Yeah, so we'll regain power from there. And then we need to analyze the surface area of the spatial distortions because we might be able to find the best one to bounce off.
Hmm.
I don't know how to
Oh.
do that, but hopefully one of you guys.
I wish
Oh.
I kept my value. Oh well. All right.
In the interest of keeping things nice and simple here, uh, I will say that I'll give you basically a one-shot task to make an attempt at pulling off this maneuver here.
Cool. I am burning all of my. I'll burn one for the freaking. Um, I'll burn one for an extra die. I will use. I got no focuses. That's cool. And I will spend 2 to create an advantage of that. She remembers the great story in which her great aunt, or rather her niece, regaled about how her great aunt did it. Or her
Can I
aunt
can
was
I
regaled
do
how to do
can I do perhaps one thing to create an advantage?
it.
what would
Sure.
you like to do?
If we got the momentum, do the
Yeah.
special reserve and bring out a bottle of Klingon blood wine
Hmm.
Oh
and
my
give
god.
her a mug of that just to steel her resolve.
The whole
She
bottle.
won't take the mug. She'll take the bottle. It's like you give her the mug, she just
I
grabs the
would like
bottle.
to do a presence and command roll to just kind of like pump her up. Okay, I know how this girl operates. She's got self-esteem issues, even though she's a Klingon. I get that. I have dealt with children, Vulcans, all sorts of stuff. Shellyak on vacations. So
Okay. So with the use of, here's what I'm going to rule here. Um, with Ram.
I'm going to use. Hang on. I will also, as a keeper of gear, I will step away from the console because I'm inspired. I grab uh I grab uh a visor that allows me to basically uh altitude adjust and pilot from afar, like with like a RC sort of thing, like a flying drone, and I'm going to attach it to the ship to help me further guide it.
Hmm. Oh, so just so I'm keeping track here, I believe we had what three momentum going into this.
yeah,
Okay, so the special reserve would cost one, and the gear bit would cost one, which you could tap both of those. That'd still leave you a die for the roll.
Yep, which I do.
and I'd like
Yep.
to make
And
a presence and command
yeah.
inspire everybody.
Yep, I will allow you to roll an assist here. Um, let's see for this next task here. I haven't given specific things for it yet. I will say my original plan was going to be to make this a big uh, daring and con roll with a difficulty of 5 in order to try and pull off this dicey maneuver. I will reduce that to 4 with the help of the gear that you are using. Um,
Sweet.
the special reserve, I will allow you to pick one of two options here. You may either A, um, prevent it, well, essentially you can say that the GM will not be allowed to spend will not be able to spend threat for this, as I was considering doing so in order to increase your complication range. The other alternative would be, mm, I've forgotten what I was thinking now. Let's say, since this is helping with your composure, and I imagine that you have a tolerance for whatever Ramsay gives you. I will allow you to re-roll a single d20 if it comes to it.
Oh, a reroll. I think that sounds pretty good.
I have one other quick action which I just want to spend a determination on. Putting out maps and locations to all crew and customers, letting them know safe places to go while we maneuver our way out of the problem.
I,
Okay?
I think it praiseworthy, but you may want to hold on to that just in case
Yeah,
things
just
go
in case
awry.
we need rerolls.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I only have a 13, you guys. So
Yeah. Come to
with
think of
no
it, the
focus.
so the reroll is actually that was not the original second option I had. I I actually think I was going to say that you steady your nerves enough to allow basically a one-shot focus for this instead of
With a 13, what does that bring my range up to?
well, your con score is 3, correct?
Yes.
So your
So it goes
critical
up one
success
thing.
range would be 3
That
from
ain't
1 to 3
bad.
essentially.
That ain't bad at all.
Yeah.
It ain't bad.
So
Cash
it's
in
Yeah.
our.
either
Take it.
that or I spend threat. Or rather,
Okay.
or you can prevent me from spending threat, basically.
Which would bring my botching to 17.
Well, the complication here would only go up to it would be 19 to 20 because
Okay.
yeah.
You can always bring up by 1 for every 2. All right.
I think focus.
Yeah, let's do focus. All
Okay.
right. Complication range of 2. I have 3 task roll. 13 total. And I need 3, right?
Yes,
Overall?
you had no, you need 4
4. I need
successes.
4.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so everyone is bracing into their positions. Democ, you are preparing to shift power from the reserve that you were able to set aside into the engines.
I
Ramsay,
just. Sorry, go ahead.
Ramsay, you're left with a mug of whatever spirit you decided to produce. Perchance, what would you have thought to give Celeste?
Probably a 20-year-old blood wine.
Okay.
Yeah, she wouldn't take the mug. She you offer the mug, she takes the bottle and starts just chugging it all down.
Yep.
Chug.
Is
Blood, I guess.
is blood wine to your taste, Ramsay?
Who knows?
Well, let's say it is today, because I will let you decide whether you down it or not. But
I
yes,
probably will.
yeah. Amidst all of this, Julie, you set up the intercom line. There's that familiar, annoying tone that starts off your everyday as you begin listing off announcements, informing the passengers and crew to make it to as many safe areas as possible, finding the hard points, and to tell them to brace.
Can I make a presence and command roll to do that?
I think that since we're already locking stuff in for Celeste's task here, we're just
No
going to
problem.
say that's a fluff roll. But after you make those announcements, I go ahead and give Celeste your best motivational speech to assist.
Okay. So I'll do the motivational speech.
Yeah. So, difficulty 4, Daring and Con, assisted by Ms. Sunshine's presence and command, and
Can I activate
give me your best
customer
fluff.
service with this? Can I use customer service? This is a customer service moment. I'm motivating another employee to achieve in difficult circumstances.
All for the sake of the company's reputation. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so that's 1 success. Give us your best motivational go there.
I know you could do this. Your niece did it. This is Tuesday. You're the best Klingon princess I've ever met.
I'm right, I am. She says, by the ancestors, I will show my mother for the last time.
Your ancestors. Feel them. They are in your blood and in your hand.
I'm gonna put on a seatbelt.
Yeah, thankfully these ships come with them. All
I'll
right.
put on a too.
All right. Whew. All right.
Full confidence.
Go.
Oh, one
That is
shot.
2 successes, so for a total of 3.
Oh, you-
Although you are assisted
Yeah,
by the ship as well with
Ooh.
engines and con. Go ahead and open
But-
up the Rainbow Sands sheet.
I got it. So what is it? Engines.
Engines and con.
God
Okay.
damn it.
All right. Yeah.
Ain't the best, but in its focus. Yep. Here we go.
Ship, you let us
Aw.
down.
Okay. You may succeed at cost here. Would you like to do that instead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So with a rev of the engines, you fire them up as much as you can. Demok, you transfer power at the right point, and Celeste, you fire the engines away. As you are
Over the
beginning to round, as you're beginning to slingshot around the spatial scission and try to skip over it, you find that your momentum is increasing, then decreasing as the engines are starting to cut out. Unfortunately, it seems that Captain Thrasdish might have been right. There wasn't quite enough power in order to fully clear this. Um, with
Can
the
we get Haitian's punch at this point? Is calm signaling it's open?
well, hold on, I have the resolution for this because I did note that Demok was, well, rather, Celeste had asked Demok to transfer power from the lower, like some of the lower decks that were evacuated.
Strip down as many decks as we can
Yep.
of power.
Yep. As you try to juice some of that extra power, there's a brief kick up from the mains that actually gives it a bit of a burst of subspace energy, and the propulsive impact of that allows it to just clear. Behind you, there's a terrible burst of light that the sensors register as an increase of energy for a moment as you whoever is standing at a sensor's console essentially notices, and Celeste, you would certainly see this, you slightly drag the anomaly, or cause it to zip through space very slightly as
I'm sure that's fine.
yep, as the as it escapes, but there's sort of a subspace tethering that is going on between the warp core and the anomaly itself. You manage to snap it away, and as you do, the ship is finally clear of that. The mains are starting to come back online, but Celeste, you notice almost immediately that there is another subspace signature coming behind you, and this one appears to identify as a ship.
Toward the end, when we got a new boost of speed,
Mm-hmm.
she kind of feels her ancestors a little bit, especially with the fucking blood wine just downed, and she starts just cackling madly as we get out of position, make our way out.
My own restaurant.
Do we have communications open now?
we have nah, hell with it. We have a ship behind us, she says.
It's like, you do have communications, and as a matter of fact, Julie, you are getting a signal being opened up.
This is Julie Sunshine of the Rainbow. What's the second part of the name?
Sands.
Rainbow
Sands.
It's Rainbow Sands.
So you open a channel to the other ship, and on the view screen, you see a dark green bridge lit in very dim tones, and ahead of you, a very highly decorated and very majestic-looking Romulan gentleman.
Hello.
Rainbow Sands.
Yes,
You've committed an act of aggression against the Romulan Star Empire. You will surrender immediately.
Well, we were caught by a subspace anomaly, and I'm punching out that Starfleet 911 ship call now. That's going out. I just 911 ship in danger. We got caught by
The
an
Romulan space.
anomaly, and it might have been something that was yours. We apologize. We mostly civilian. We have civilians on board. This is not a military vessel. This was just an accidental encounter.
A likely story.
Yeah, you can tell by looking at our ship, we are no spy ship. We are no formidable, Q ship. This is merely what it appears to be, a pleasure cruiser. And apparently it took a wrong turn and got caught up on the edge of this anomaly. We've just broken free.
Would you like to sample our holodecks? They're the finest in the Ryzen fleet.
They are. They really are.
Give me a presence and command roll with my last threat going into the complication range here. Increasing it to 2 for the both of you. Ramsey, if you would like to assist as unenthusiastically as possible.
Okay, so I'm making a presence and command roll. I am trying to use my customer service. If I need to, I have a value. Taking care of my guests is my life's purpose. But I can save that for later in case we have.
I think that's later.
I don't think that there's going to be a later if things go astray here.
Now he's also
Romulan captain is not happy.
I want to clarify: we are not in Romulan space. We're somewhere deep in the Federation, right?
Oh no! You have pulled us into Federation space, all for to escalate a provocation. If this is the fate of the Empire, then if this is the fate you would drag the Empire to, then we will show you.
No, I was asking that as a question.
Oh.
Like, we haven't been translocated.
Nope, you pulled him from the through the scission from Romulan space.
Okay. So I'm going to look at him and go, when we did our maneuver, it pulled you through another anomaly, probably the other destination point on this one. So you are not in Romulan space anymore.
We didn't go through.
And this was all because of the accident. So I think there's a better, more diplomatic way to handle this. We're not looking into any of your information, and our scanners aren't good enough that Starfleet's going to get anything out of it. So I'm just going to try to talk this guy down, and if I need to, I'll invoke my value.
Is this okay? Question: is this post Hobus?
I've actually revised the timeline slightly, so this is pre-Hobus now.
She'll say oh no, somebody's already assisting. Never mind. I'm good.
So I got 2. Rom backed me up with 1, so that's 3 successes to kind of de-escalate this guy.
You're getting the physical dice roll here.
Oh dear.
He matches.
I'd like to spend my value then. Taking care of my guests is my life's purpose. 2 successes.
Oh, since you've already rolled, you can use it to re-roll the dice pool here.
Re-roll that 0.
Okay, I'll re-roll that 0 then. Same parameters.
I'll take the 1 that was.
Yeah.
I only need the 1. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Sorry. I'll re-roll that if you wish. I had the thing set.
You're good. You're good.
Yep.
Sorry.
You gain back a momentum, and you give this Romulan commander just a moment's pause.
I realize this is a difficult situation, sir, and I respect your authority and the Romulan Star Empire. And I think there's a better solution to this. It looks like we pulled you through when we were rescuing us. We'll be glad to help you in any way, shape, or form. And I think at this point, there'll be no problems with you exiting exiting Federation space. This was an accident. This happens. We know these things happen in space.
The Romulan commander looks very carefully to considering his options for a moment. Wait, and he looks off to the side. Oh, how very clever! You stall us just long enough for a Federation ship to enter our sensor range. Oh, be warned. I will remember the name Rainbow Sands, and I will be filling out a bad customer review for you later.
Oh no.
Oh God, she looks horrified.
The Tal Shiar,
Like,
Fire all weapons.
the Tal Shiar will see to it that that this fate befalls you. But
she
we
looks
can.
utterly. I mean, she always has the best smile. It's just gone. She looks like a sad teenager.
You're gonna leave a load of negative reviews on our website. Ugh.
I think getting
There's a-
review bombed by the Romulan Star Empire is among the worst fates.
So does the communication cut?
It
Or
cuts and the ship warps away. Democ, at this point, you notice that there's indeed a sensor contact that is entering warp as the Romulans just book it away from book it out of Federation space.
God, that was the biggest load of bullshit I've ever dropped. She stands up.
without hesitation, actually more comfortability, she'll just stand up from the console, push it away. Well, if it doesn't matter for the three of you, I'm gonna go find Captain Connix. I am owed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'll open up comm with the Starfleet vessel, and I'll start sending them data on our position, our status, engineering.
You receive a channel from the USS Ithaca, an Akira-class vessel,
shit.
and over that, a very familiar voice. Hello, this is Lieutenant Codmock, on call from the Ithaca. Hello, sir. Who is this?
This is acting communications officer for the Rainbow Sands, Julie Sunshine. I'm transmitting you our current status and situation. We could definitely use some help.
Rainbow Sands. Why does that sound familiar?
It's a pleasure cruiser.
No, it's not that. For the life
It's
of
me, sir! Hello!
Democ, you son of a bitch! What are you doing there?
Well, you see, I'm in considerable amount of debt, so it's really no choice.
I really told you you should have tried to finish the academy last time.
I thought after the 7th try it was worth trying something else.
Lieutenant Conmock, focus, says a voice.
Oh, yes, Captain. Yes, Captain. Sure thing. We'll be. Do you require any assistance there? Not with the debt, with the ship. We seem to read
Yes,
a
have some.
Romulan signature and a spatial decision.
Yes, watch out for the spatial anomaly. Give it a wide berth. It will try to capture your vessel. And we need engineering for sure.
Oh, okay. We'll be there. We'll be there soon. This is the Ithaca out.
I'll get on ship wide, put on the tone. USS Ithaca is en route to assist us, so everybody just relax. And there's often a customer service goodie bag in every room and at every station. Just tap your passenger card and you can find that something to keep you busy while we wait for Starfleet.
And with that, you give as pleasant an assurance as you can, notifying everyone that things are about to be better. So, with that, you seem to have saved the ship. The crew is on its way out, or rather, the crew seems to be safe. So everything might actually be coming out well. Or at this point, I'd say one could say this program's been fulfilled here. So, Felix, would you like to cap off the session with an extra bit of
Uh,
japery?
Yes, computer, end program.
The,
Julie Sunshine was just a program?
yep. You
That's
you find there's
awesome.
an unusual after image going on from some of the programs here. Undoubtedly, it's another glitch aboard the holodeck here.
Oh no, we're having no more sentient holodeck programs. Deletes the entire program.
Yep. All right.
Not today.
Now, were we all on a holodeck simulation?
I think you caused this in the beginning.
Yes. Some pre-session japery led this to all be a a bit of holodeck japery featuring one Lieutenant Junior Grade Demock, whose
Oh,
story is
Julie Sunshine is merely a hollow program. That's cool, though.
yeah. How else would we get together such an improbable crew as Julie Sunshine, the Klingon Princess Celeste, and the how else would Demock ever be involved with the legendary Tellarite chef Ramsay?
Wait, she looks as she's getting ready to fade. She looks over at Dimmock. Change my program so I pass Starfleet Academy.
No, that's necessary for character development.
You. She was about to cuss and say "bad," but then she just.
You'll have Calas being like, could you at least hold the program like just 1 hour longer?
Well, I just leave it running for a while. What could possibly go wrong? And thus is the next adventure already prepared.
Yep. Yep. And the trials and tribulations that Demock will subject his ship to are the stories for another day. But for today, that ends our Captain's Holiday adventure. So I appreciate everybody that was here to join, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little side. Oh dear, this
Sidetrack.
sidetrack. A very abbreviated TNG like theme should play here at the moment. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed, and we hope that you'll join us next week. We are coming back with more Star Trek Adventures Aegis. For those catching on the archive, I think that this is where we will leave you, so by all means, leave behind a comment or a like. Let us know how we're doing, and yeah, we hope to catch you later. But until then, I hope that you have a good day and you enjoy the coming adventures of Star Trek Adventures Aegis.